It was all too much. This year was too much. The politics, the pandemics, everything. So it's kind of over for me. I like to declare it over. So I went into the wilderness and I meditated for like 5, 6 hours straight to purify my body from all the bullshit that we had in the past year. And right after that, I recorded an episode to share with you the clarity of mind I had. So this episode is about how our modern civilization sucks. This is Auditory Portals to Terra, and prepare your soul to be calm. Hey everybody. I usually give some kind of an intro in the beginning of the episode, so I guess my future self have done it, and you know what this one is about. But by the way, I'm recording this on my phone. I hope this is not too ASMR. If it is, you're welcome. But I'm just gonna basically tell you why I'm in the middle of the mountains, the hills. It's not a mountain. It's a fucking hill. And it's just my favorite spot in Hungary, and meditating. I'm just gonna basically tell you this whole crazy story of the past 1.5 year and what led to this. No Bowie, no voice effects. I basically something that I've mentioned before and I will talk about more is that I have OCD and BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, not bipolar, some different, which I will talk about later. But what I wanted to say is that I feel so chill. Feel so chill. I'll tell you why. I've always been a panicked person. I've always been a super anxious person ever since, I don't know, the age 8. And we all have fucked up shit happening in our childhood, so there's always something to blame, which I don't think is really helpful. I mean, for sure, negative experiences as a child will affect you, so on and so forth. But dwelling back never helps, and especially with both of my conditions, they're genetics. So yeah, what is it saying that the genetic disorder is a loaded gun, but the events pull the trigger, something like that. I don't know. I don't know how much truth is to that, but yeah. So for a while, I just dwelled on that, and I mean, I always thought I'm sort of weird. I'm sort of crazy a bit. I've always had problems in school with everybody, from a child. I've always been the weird one, like for so many different reasons with it, which again I won't get into the detail of the mental health stuff. But I never knew what's quite wrong with me. I always like when I'm watching a movie, I always identified with the weirdest villain or whatever, or there was something there, but you don't know. You just like grow up saying I'm a quirky kid. I'm a weird kid. I don't know. Sometimes in my life I was even proud of it. I was really proud of it. I thought that's fuck, ants are infiltrating me. I thought that's that I'm different, that I'm better. It wasn't like I chose it or I was deliberately being weird, but it wasn't. It was the only option, because like imagine I go to school and all the kids, they're headed at I don't know where, football, or I'm just talking about weird alien theories, and I don't know. It was there's always been something weird. about me, which I will, which later on, I mean, problems were different. I would call, with the OCD, I would call it my overthinking problem, and with BPD, I would call it I'm really sensitive, and sometimes I just turn into, I called it another person, but it's not really another person. It was another mood. Um, it's just a mood swing, but yeah. But it's, I guess it's the way you dissociate from, because imagine the mood swing happens and you're not, you don't have autonomy over your emotions. So you come back and you might have, you might have said things to your close ones that you regret. So I guess the easiest way to dissociate from it is to say I've got two different people, which is what you hear a lot of VPD people say, but it's not like DID, where you completely turn into another character. Again, I know who, you know who you are. Anyways, I've been dealing with those two fucking big monsters for a long time, and here's the catch: I didn't even know it. I didn't even know what these are. I didn't even know that I have them. Now I do. But no wonder things always got worse in my life. Like as I went forward, I always became more productive, like in terms of school, work wise, and shit. Um, but things mental health wise got worse. It was just like if I'm not busy on some project or something, if I'm not working my ass off, it's like I can't be happy. It's like I have to. I couldn't sit down and have a moment with myself and just. I couldn't even be myself. I didn't even know who the fuck is myself, which is again just BPD stuff. Again, I don't want to go get too deep into the mental health part. I mean the OCD and BPD and what they exactly are. You can Google them. But yeah, it's so fucking difficult to have these conditions and to live with them and not know it. And so you, one of the biggest things about my life was that how everybody's different. And I never thought why, like of course my brain works on a different level on two fucking different criteria. Like imagine, like one is, well, I mean OCD is an active frontal lobe or whatever you call it. Like I don't know the scientific jargon of it. Don't have access to anything to to look it up, but guess the part of your brain that sends you signals that you need to worry about something is overactive in us. So that never ends. So it's always just this cloud of anxiety, and on the BPD side, it's way deeper. It's more like identity shit. Like it's kind of like you don't have an identity, and you look at yourself from a third person point of view, and therefore you constantly need another living soul to validate your identity. Shit like that. Um, but I didn't know, because to be honest, if you meet me, I'm just a normal person. If you don't get too close to me, if you're not somebody that I'm like really really close to, you won't even notice. You might notice for sure that I'm kind of weird, but you won't think that I have these serious mental health disorders, because I don't know if it's Hollywood. Is it the way they've been depicted as as fucking dramatic? Like I remember when I got diagnosed with BPD, I was like, I'm Johnny Depp from Secret Window. Am I gonna I can turn into another person at night and go out and do whatnot? No, that's not the case. Don't let Hollywood tell you what these are. But anyways, yeah, what I was saying is that life was getting more and more stressful. And there's stress, and there's these big questions about, and you might be listening to this and saying, hey, I relate. I've also big questions and big mental health problems, or maybe stress or anxiety. I'm not exactly talking about the same case, because this is one of the 10 personality disorders I'm talking about. But sure, what I'm trying to talk about in this episode applies to everybody and every type of mental health. And I'm just saying this is in no way to be compared with anxiety or anything, because with those, you have a problem. Even with my OCD, even that, though, that is really hard, and sometimes you're convinced that the thing you're worrying about is legit. Oh fuck, a spider that I know will bite. Okay, okay, hopped off. These motherfuckers, I know I've been bitten by them. Yeah, so sorry. Spider interrupted. Where was I? Yeah, so BPD is one of the 10 personality disorders. Those fuckers are so hard because you don't even know. You've never even spent a moment in your life thinking or having basically a personality like the rest of us. Like your whole worldview on life is different. So it's difficult. It's difficult to find out, and with a lot of cases, if it's a genetic problem and you're in a family of, in your family, people have also had predispositions and tendencies towards them, then yeah, it's very fucking hard to find out. Like, imagine you, your whole tribe's like that, looking like, how can you know? How can you know that this is abnormal? So and again, you keep thinking like your family is the normal, and you go out and you just start judging everybody, and everybody else is abnormal. Everybody else is, in my case with BPDs, like everybody else is unkind and cruel, and you end up isolating yourself, which is what I did. So anyway, long story short, this whole shit gets accumulated, and around like 2019, was it? When was it even? The last time we entered this portal, and then now it just came out at the other end. Yeah, it was then where things started to get unbearable. It was then when things started to get unbearable, and then on top of everything, like I was already on the edge in terms of the OCD. My brain was working 24/7 on things that don't matter. Like, I wasn't resting for a second in my life. I wasn't enjoying anything. I couldn't watch a movie. I couldn't do anything. I was just like um doing something, creating, doing some of this shit, making music, like anything. Um Obsessed with the idea of legacy. And then again, on my from the BPD point of view, I've never been worse because I've isolated myself from almost everybody. Felt really righteous on my bullshit path, and cut connections with a lot of friends, a lot of people. Like, um, majority of my main friends, a lot of people, a lot of them, they cut the connection with me because I became unbearable. A lot of them, some of them were just unbearable themselves. Um, it just really brought out the worst of everybody when we were pushed into this pandemic, and yeah, so I went in like that. I went in already on the verge of Arkham Asylum. Uh, I went in and I went mad. Like, I cannot describe to you. I cannot describe to you how fucking crazy it was. My whole reality, like the way you look at life, your whole reality is turned upside down for no reason, and it's not the virus or anything. It's I mean, what hurt me the most was claustrophobia. Because again, now think about it. You've already cut connections. You're cutting your support group even further. All alone now. You have OCD. Now you're thinking everybody, anything can kill you. I was doing compulsions all day long. It was just compulsions, and so to the point of madness. And now the OCD started to spill to other stuff as well. So I believe if it gets bad for something, it gets bad for everything. Like, if I let my mental brain checking get bad, of whether if I got COVID or not, then I have to, the part where I also have to rub my fingers around the table also gets amplified. The part where I want to make sure if the TV's straight, like all of that. I was spending all my time just doing compulsions. Nauseated, then I threw up, and out of the panic attacks, and you get it, and And then also suicidal feelings started to settle because of the BPD, and it was awful. It was awful. It was the worst I could imagine. I mean, there are conditions that are worse. I don't want to say we're the like. Thank God. I thank. Okay, I don't want to, but I don't want to put them on the spotlight. But I guess I don't know. DID, schizophrenia. So glad I don't have any of those. But yeah, the combo of these two was fucked up. So one day I think I got COVID. I don't know. I don't know because the at the time where it was very early on, the test said that they did one um what do you call it, antibody test, and they said it's negative, but the doctor himself told me, yeah, these stuff don't work the way you described it. It sounds to me like you had COVID, but so what happened was that I just couldn't walk for some days, and I was just like fatigued, and I had diarrhea. I couldn't eat, some stuff like that. Mild, like it was not mild at all, but it was fine. But then suddenly, as I because I didn't know like this could be COVID, but as I like call a health center and I'm like, yeah, what should I do? Where should I go? And they say, yeah, most likely you have COVID. You're young, just stay at home. Okay, so as they say this, I suddenly quote unquote couldn't breathe. I was like, shit, the COVID is hitting the pneumonia. Mind you, this is like fucking March or June, around the same time around the same time last year, 2020, I guess so. What the fuck? I've lost track. Yeah, so yeah, it was a near constant panic attack, but I thought I'm not I'm not breathing. And here's also the funny part about the country I'm in, which you know about. I just called the ambulance and it took 45 fucking minutes for them. Well, more than an hour. I'm sorry, more than an hour and 10 minutes or some fucking shit like that to get here. While I called them, I said I can't breathe. Um, First question they had. I'm not gonna talk about it. Fuck it. If you want to know what's the first question, they had to reach out. I don't want to get political here, but yeah. So anyways, after finally going to the hospital after a week and stuff, yeah, as they examined me and they said, "Nah, dude, you're fine. You don't have any pneumonia or anything." It just went away, and the doctor was like, "Are you sure you don't have any mental health problems?" And I was like, yeah, I'm anxious. I've been having panic attacks since forever, but that's just because I had a fucked up childhood. Then the doctor was like, no, you gotta go. It's like we recommend you look into it. It was around the same time that a family member was also diagnosed with OCD. So I was like, that really led the way. So I'm really thankful to that family member sharing the story. I don't fucking know if there might be other ones that have gotten diagnosed or whatever. Nobody shared anything with me. Like if they were either in denial or didn't share. But nobody told us that this is the case, and I understand because like we didn't check back then, especially in Iran. Like they don't fucking check. They go with just deal with it mentality. They'll be like, oh yeah, my grandfather was also like that, like overthought, and his grandfather. I was like, yeah, but how about we break a cycle of fucking? Were they happy, or were they all fucking anxious, angry people, generation after generation? Yes, I broke the cycle, and it was tough. Like with OCD, it was like really obvious because I was saying, it's such an obvious thing. You have all these quirks, and you just read about it, and I didn't really know what it is. To be honest, I was just like, I'm not clean. I'm not like this. I'm not like that. I mean, we know that this, misconceptions right now about the cleanliness, and most of my because here's the thing. Let's get dark. As a child, I used to do all the compulsions and the physical tics and the like the sounds and the eye twitches, but I was physically punished for it in those fucking Iranian schools. So I think I turned it inwards, and ever since then, most of my problems, compulsion was up here, was mental, and yeah, it was all like checking and to point of crazy, as if I can't just like, as if I'm always waiting for all checklist items to be checked, and only then I can move on with my life, or only then I can be, basically, like as if I don't have a right to existence. And now mix that with the OCD, with a little bit of the BPD, and then you start attaching your identity to your work and everything. One of the unhealthiest things I did before knowing what my conditions are is to make this podcast. So it all started with, I always had creative ideas, and I always wanted to do a lot of things, but I was waiting for the institution and the establishment to hire me or something. I don't know. I thought there's a way. I mean, uh, when I grew up, it was like that was the plan, especially in our country. It was just like you had to get the approval of the establishment. We even have a ministry of like I think SAG in America, like you need to be approved to be a union. I don't know, the whole deal. But then came the era of podcasting and all, and the internet, and it's, yeah, it's way more accessible and crazy. I don't know. I'm kind of happy. I don't know who said this. I forgot who said this, but somebody said that. I think it's Charlie Brooker, the guy who made Black Mirror. He said that in the world we're headed at, everybody will get to be famous for 5 minutes. And you know what? I like it. I like it because I felt like we went through this Beatles mania, right? And then I'd say there's something like the post Beatle mania. Like ever since the Beatles, we're looking for the next god. We're looking for who to praise next, what's the Michael Jackson, whatever, who's the hot shit. But the Beatles survived it, but many others don't. All these hot shits. Britney Spears, crazy, fucking. Oh, she also has BPD. She also has BPD. They took a BPD kid, pushed her to madness so they can get a couple of cool songs. Another interesting BPD story. I'm not sure if that guy had BPD. I'm kind of fucking like the way I saw in the documentary. So I was watching this Comedy Store documentary, and Freddie Prinze. Uh, you might know his son. His son is an actor right now. You know him. He was Fred in Scooby Doo. I'm sure he's done more. He was in 24 as well. We got he looks like an older Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay, but his dad. Um, here's what I do. I'm talking about a lot of different. I'm all over the place, but here's what I don't like about the Comedy Store. I'm fucking Mitzi Shore. She deliberately found all these mentally ill people. Found them all and pushed them. Just fucking pushed them. Freddie Prinze was one of them. She took him there, and when he's in that mindset, you start fucking with their head. So first you give them everything. You let them go on stage and kill, and you let them kill, basically, which is what they did and what they could do. But and then you boost their ego, but then you bring in a competitor, and then you let the competitor kill. Oh, and now you're fucking with their head, and now you put those two competitors at each other's throat. This is how you breed great comics, Richard Pryor material, but to what cost? Yes, you can push people. I work with the Scientologist. Um, I did the fucking language school. I'll talk about that in another episode. But that's what they're good at. It's what every fucking cult does. Manipulate your emotions
strategically to push you to achieve things you can't do. That's how like fucking John Travolta flies a plane and Tom Cruise can jump off a fucking Burj Al Khalifa and do backflips. Why? 'Cause their fucking heathen is pure. Because it's Scientology. I swear to fucking God, like one of the practices is that they would like you gotta sit there and they would like try to put something in your head and you shouldn't blink. Like they would try to hit you with their hand in your head, but they would get like really close to your nose, but they won't actually hit you. But you know that to for you to overcome your reflexes, to not be a biological being. So it's got advantages to it. Um, achieving stuff, but you lose yourself. And they pushed this, and I'm sure Freddie Prince had BPD too, and after a while he got really dysfunctional. I'm saying I think he had BPD because just watch the documentary. Certain things he said, like he would suicide threat a lot, but never actually do it, and everybody said that he would say, "Hey, I'm killing myself. You should come over," and you would just go there, and you'll see he's just now happy with a bunch of people. This kind of reminds me of the BPD cry for attentions and mood swings and shit. Yeah, anyways, but so this dude, young, fucking talented. He was at the head. I mean, you might not know him or heard of him now, but he was at top of the world at the point. Like he was the Hollywood kid. He the famous. He was in TV shows. He was like, let me give you an example. Like, fuck, who's the guy now? Or girl? Let's get. I thought of a girl. Like, let's think like Anya Taylor Joy, right? She after she did this like Queen's Gambit, and now she's all over the place. She's hosting SNL, uh, and uh, and there'll come a day when Anya Taylor Joy won't be Anya Taylor Joy. I'll assure you, in a couple of years. Or think of Jessica Alba. Do you remember Jessica Alba? She was that when Fantastic Four and that era. She was the Hollywood, right? Toby Maguire. Like, where the fuck are they now? Exactly. So I think that's a every celebrity will reach that stage, and then if you have if some accept it and some if you have these kind of mental problems and you've been fucking your mind have has been meddled with, yeah, then you do what Freddie Prinze did, which is he got a crossbow and he went to kill John Travolta because at the time John Travolta became famous and he felt like he's being overshadowed by John Travolta, who wasn't even a comic. Like he didn't feel like I'm gonna go kill, I don't know, fucking Kinnison or somebody. No, he wanted to kill John Travolta. I mean, he didn't. Obviously, unfortunately, no. Ah, no, fortunately, he's still alive. Nah, I'm joking. But he went to kill him, and in the end, he killed himself. So another story. The only person in the world that I know of, who has both of the conditions I have, both OCD and BPD, the combo. I believe the combo in itself is a new kind of fucking mental health problem. But it's Brody Stevens, who was a comic, lesser known. You might not know him. You most likely don't know him. He wasn't. I don't think he was funny. He's dead. Aside, I won't get. He won't get. I don't think it was funny, to be honest. But he had a lot to say in terms of like okay. So Brody is interesting when I watch his interviews and his podcast appearances, and especially the one there was one when he was on Tiger Belly, Bobby Lee's podcast a few months. So spoilers, he kills himself, but he killed himself in mid COVID. Again, BPD OCD, the same combo, and if you watch him on the podcast, he's really crying for help. Like you can really see that every little friendly roast jokes, he takes it personally in a very intense way, and it's crazy. And then so in mid COVID, yeah, he just decided to set himself free. But that is something that we don't talk about. That's something that we don't talk about. When it comes to COVID, we were so busy, months and months of just sanitizer, blah, 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 and you motherfuckers could handle it. But you don't understand that broadcasting all that panic, that amount of whatever to people who are born with a fucking thing like I was, and there's many of us. Yeah, it's not just like you do the math. It's like, I don't know, mine is like each of the problems I have is like 1% of society is susceptible to it. With one of them, they're kind of thinking maybe two. How many of them are? There's like 10 of them. Just the personality disorders, and then ADHD and OCD. So if you take that into consideration, I can just come up with a number with my own fucking guts and say at least 20 fucking percent of society has some, or at least 15% of society has serious mental health problems. Um, that's not a little number. It's 15%. So from out of every, I don't know, out of every 10% people, one and a half of them. So yeah, it's like out of every 10 people, one of them or two of them should have some problem, but most of them don't know. Here's the thing: most of us don't know, and with some of them, you don't know, and you're happy not to know. Like, have you ever heard anybody say, "I'm battling narcissism"? No, if you don't battle, the other people around you have to battle your fucking narcissism. So there's some mental problems. So I mean, in my case, it bothered me. But what if it didn't bother you? I have this theory that Trump has a combo of narcissism and OCD. That's the Riddler combo. The Riddler from Batman also has this combo of OCD and narcissism. And a guy who would like that, like, thank God I have the BPD to keep me humble. But imagine like OCD and narcissism. It's very likely for you to never know there's a problem with you. The OCD is keeping you busy with your whatever compulsion, overworking, workaholism, and whatever, and your narcissism tells you that you're absolutely right. And therapy doesn't necessarily. Like, I've been to therapy for times in my life. I just like went for 3 months, quit, 2 months, quit. So it was like on and off. But none of these talk therapists, these psychotherapists could diagnose me, because that's not, because listen, if I go there for 2 months and I say I have a problem, they're like, okay, that makes sense, but they don't look into how I'm treating the problem, especially if you've had like stuff in your childhood and you go there and you're like, I have a problem, this happened in my childhood, and they're like, all right, that makes sense. So it's very easy to miss these things. And as a child or teenager, I went there and they told me, I'm hyperactive, ADHD hyperactivity. We should put him on pills, and we didn't. My mom didn't, which I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't. I know people who were on a medication their lives for something, and then like like that, the ADHD hyperactivity. That's what they diagnose every fucking kid with. But then later you find out, oh no, sorry, it was actually OCD. You were taking the wrong medication for years, and that can fuck you up in its own way. So I don't, listen, science is good, psychology, all that, amazing. They have the answer. But you also got to be smart enough to seek the answer. Blindly following isn't the case. I've seen people who go to therapy and get worse. So it's like, again, therapy is important. Like with a lot of things with OCD, I believe that psychotherapy cannot help because you're just talking with the problem. You should go to ERP, exposure therapy. With BPD, you should definitely do psychotherapy, but at the same time, a lot of the work is on your own. You should have a support group. Without support group, you can't fucking handle BPD. So there is that, but I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm diverging a lot. So yeah, I fucking finally went and got diagnosed, and it was one of the most difficult shit about it. It was that in throughout this pandemic, when I started to realize I have these problems, I went to a lot of my friends, close friends, sometimes non-close friends, telling them, "Hey, I think I'm 100% sure. Not I think I have this problem." Nobody will believe in me. And they thought they're being kind to me for, nah, I'm sure you don't. Just go check. Nah, I'm sure you're just Googling yourself. I'm sure you just da. Now imagine, I just found out something fucking mind blowing about yourself. And if you've been down that path, you know the feeling of like, you suddenly look at this Google page of DSM diagnosis criteria, and you just freeze. You just fucking freeze. It's not like me going, oh yeah, I have a little bit of fear of abandonment. Everybody, this is my fucking problem that people are just like misdiagnosing themselves so much that when somebody like you actually fucking know I have it, nobody would trust you. Everybody's like, nah, I'm sure, blah blah blah. I felt so alone. Like I legit go to my friend and I'm like, I'm fucking in the middle of all this COVID. I wrote so many people and again I should expect people to be there for me. I'm like, listen, this problem. I would just be happy if somebody could just fucking call me on Facebook Messenger for 5 minutes. There was a time that no one did, and I'm listen. I'm fine with that. I'm not like nagging here because I'm. This is what I've learned is that people are people. People are dicks. They don't need to help me with my condition. Although I need help, they don't need to. Thank God I have people around to who help me, and I have amazing people in my life, from my family to my close friends. But um, yeah, but at the time, my community failed me. And and that's just something that really made me worse. Really made me worse. That right when I need, like, for all these years of me being the fun jokester or whatever, and these motherfuckers enjoying me, exactly the time where I'm in literal hell. Um, Nobody was there, and nobody really helped me because in that darkness, I first found out what true friendship is. And it was what some people showed me. Some people, or what the way they treated me, showed me true kindness. They happen to be the closest people in my life, so I'm happy. Um, but the general average friend I had, I just realized, oh, first of all, I realized how much everybody else is also sick and they don't know about it, and how much this cruelty is not their fault. Like people were also in a tough choice. So if I want them to understand the problems I went through and cut me a slack, I should be able to do the same to them, right? I should be able to also understand that don't don't split people, if you know what the term means. It's a BPD terminology, but it was split people. We throw them in the good zone and the bad zone, and a lot of people went to the bad zone, which is not right because I should understand that people make mistakes. People can be dumb, extremely dumb, and I should live with all of that because I also have my flaws. Extremely dumb isn't one of them, but but I have my own shit. I can be annoying. I can be intrusive. I have my own shit. But it's the respect for each other's problems and shortcomings and quirks that is what matters. That's what's helping me deal with this. But again, back to the point is that it was tough finding these out and nobody knowing anything about them, nobody knowing how do you treat somebody who has this problem. Like, I'm sure if you see somebody has a wheelchair, is on a wheelchair, and is paralyzed, you won't like throw them off a stair. But that's kind of what some people did to me. Like, with the, like, for example, a friend of mine, in the middle of this, in the fact that I've told him, a very close friend, a few days ago, hey, I'm feeling really bad, can you just talk with me for 5 minutes? It was like, no. And I was like, all right. And then 2 days after that, he just bombards me with insults and criticisms about why I've been a piece of shit. Um, which doesn't make any sense, by the way. I don't want to give you the exact example of what that person was talking about, but it makes no fucking sense. Like, it's just, again, expecting too much of people, everybody expecting too much of me, which has been the problem I've had with a lot of my friends. And then I go to this very few and I'll become too much for them because I'm so over bearing the burden of everybody that then I'll put all my burden on one person, and so that's not healthy. I'll stop bearing the burden of you, and I'll accept the fact that people are just, there's a lot of bullshit, and I'll just navigate through the bullshit, and I'll save my energy and kindness for people who actually deserve it, because spraying it around, you should give as much kindness as you can, but spraying it around for no reason is not helpful. So anyway, I got diagnosed, and then after that I had an exam period, and then this whole bureaucratic fucking get the vaccine kind of hustle of, fuck, because I don't have a social security number here because I'm an immigrant. I'm not a citizen, so I'm not included in the healthcare, and so there's this whole system, bureaucratic fuck up that took me such a while to oh, the answers, a fucking answer infiltrating shit. Let me just, fucking ants, it's fine, I'm gonna leave soon. All right. So yeah, and all that, and I just reached to a place where I was doing, like, Sam Harris has helped me. Okay, here's what really helped. Sam Harris. Nothing helped as much as Sam Harris. Uh, guys, I'm gonna interrupt myself. There's something funny happening here. I brought this, like, purple, like, rose-colored blanket, and bees are going crazy here. Bees are constantly thinking that this is a flower. That's so cute. Anyways, but just get the fuck away from here. All right, I'm gonna pause this and take care of a swarm of no. Shoot. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, Sam Harris. Sam Harris's app really helped me. Um, Meditation. I've been doing it for 4 years since my first mental breakdown and first uh suicidal feelings. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna talk back. Sorry, I got some bee drama. Yeah, and so yeah, it's been a year of all that. Of, imagine you going in thinking you're a quote unquote normal person, coming out knowing you've been having two fucking huge mental health problems, and then getting diagnosed in the middle of the COVID, and just crazy. And I just want to say, if you know anyone who comes to you and says, "Hey, I might have this problem," just be there for them. It's not up to you to decide. You're not a doctor. It's not up to you to decide what problem they have. Don't think if you just go like, "Nah, I'm sure you don't have it," that's gonna help. Okay, because they're that thing regardless of what the diagnosis is. Like, I've been me. It's not like finding out these three words is gonna change who I am. No, I just know about it now. So it's not like you get diagnosed with cancer or something. Even that is good, because if you have it, you better know about it, like, so you can treat it. The sooner you know, the better. And so I don't know, I feel so much better. I mean, I'm in the process. It's been months, so hasn't even been a year, so I'm just still, every day is weird for me. I'm like, Huh, so that thing is this thing. So it's like everything I do now I'm aware of. So I can call it, I can stop it, I can control it, I can you know be at helm. So yeah, I'm fucking happy. That's why I'm doing this. Super happy. I never felt so blessed. This might be the happiest moment of my life. After 26 years, just knowing who I am, knowing why those things happened, and knowing that there's a way out. It really helped me to know Pete Davidson is one of my favorite comics. From SNL. Well, he also has BPD, and it was comforting to know that hey, Pete is really funny. He's a fun dude, and he's doing it. Uh, so it was kind of like a testament to me that you don't have to be boring like this. It doesn't have to always be suicides, and you can turn it around. And I'm sure Pete goes through a lot that we don't see. But just felt me less, made me feel less alone. So I don't know. I like it when people share. I think more people should share. I was afraid of sharing. I was just like, yeah, why should you tell it to anybody? Um why wouldn't you be afraid of losing job opportunities or something because people are reluctant to take you? But that can be the diversity high. No, but yeah, but fuck it. I mean, as if we don't tell them what this is, and how people should deal with it, then how can they learn really? How can they know? And I'm not blaming anybody really because they didn't know. But I'm just saying, if somebody comes to you and says, I just found out that I'm sure I have this problem, or most likely I have this problem, that's a big moment for them. That means their whole reality was turned upside down right now. You don't know how it feels. I've been living 26 years. No moment can top that moment. I've been through moments, man. No moment can top the intensity of that revelation. So if it happens to anybody, be there for them. So anyway, I took a break. I came here. I came out to the. I'm done with the exam. I'm done with. I've so many shit. I came here to reflect in the middle of nowhere, in the beautiful nature of the Harmash Hatarhet. It's kind of like hills, and there's like an airport where people do paragliding and shit. Like airport, and I mean like airport. It's like a grass field, so it's only like you know, tailspin kind of balloons playing from tailspin, that kind of shit. No human to be seen. Just me and the birds and the deer. I haven't seen deer this time, but well, usually when I came here, I saw a lot of deer. Never saw a stag. They were mostly baby. What do you call them? What is a baby deer? A Bambi. Um, um, they taste good though. No, sorry for any vegan or vegetarian listening. I'm not about. Listen, I'm on a vegetarian diet right now for for a few days. That no, deer tastes good. I should just stop. I should just. Deer tastes so fucking good with blueberry, and these Hungarians do it with blueberry and what is it, boar? There's always like boar and deer and all the things you can find in jungle with shrooms. I mean mushrooms. Uh, Not that kind of shroom. But yeah. So I came here and I recorded this episode with complete clarity of mind, looking back at those. It was more like therapy for me. I don't know what this episode was. But But yeah, so I created this page, this auditory portals, first as a podcast, and then I expanded it. Now I'm gonna go do a YouTube. I'm gonna put my comedy there. I'm gonna then put my music there. Then I made another freaking channel, which I'm not gonna say here, but it's in my native language, about mental health issues. Oh God! And at the side, I'm doing shit. And I'm learning a language. I'm going to university, doing a master's degree, like so many fucking shit. And keep in mind that you cook if you want to save money, and there's that. There's the groceries. There's just like I have no time. So when I find a little bit of free time, the question is, do you want to play the new Assassin's Creed? Do you want to watch a fucking Marvel series or something? Oh, Loki's out. Fuck, Loki's out. But I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna watch it this week. Anyways, yeah, but I haven't done any of those because as I sit down, my OCD would go, "Hey, listen, we're out of time. You're already 26." I know, but as Pete Davis says, that's the oldest I've been. That's the oldest I've ever been. So yeah, so you start panicking, you start freaking out, and I just go like frantically start to do things, and I never release them. I've had so many episodes of this podcast I haven't released. There's my stand-up. The stand-up I enjoy because you just go there and you just do it on stage. But I'm gonna film more and put them here. I'm gonna do my music. Oh, that one's the most time consuming. I get so lost in use this. I'm not gonna say which I'm not gonna say which DAW I use. So you can't get me fucking copyright. But yeah, on my DAW, or digital audio workstation, I get lost in so many fucking like the sound, the details, and it sucks anyways. And because I'm not a pro, like I don't have enough time to just spend as much time a music producer does on this shit. I just have enough time to spend, to create my shit. And what I really enjoy is just pick up the bass. I have some lyrics. I come up with a song, then I get on the keyboard, the MIDI controller, and try to arrange and orchestrate, and that's where like really gets my OCD fucked up. Yeah, so even to the point that I'm just like sleeping at night and I'm just like thinking about like what to do and what not to do. And that's why I've only been releasing 3 episodes, because I've been thinking about episodes and I've been thinking about a lot of projects instead of actually doing them. So anyway, enough. I got my OCD got to a point where all of this shit got to a point where I was just like, is it over? I got vaccinated and it was just like over, and today I had nothing to do. So I was just like, so it's fucking over. So I just head out. I head out to this beautiful place, like I said, and I just sat there and meditated for hours. I'm gonna do more. I think so far I've been meditating for around 4 hours straight. So for 4 hours, I've been meditating. On my way here, also, I was listening to Sam Harris's like kind of these lectures he has for silent retreat. This is like my cheap version of silent retreat, but it's more like a dopamine detox. Like not to have Instagram around, not to have any of those around. On my phone, I only have access to the meditation app and the voice recorder. And I'm really enjoying it. Like, it's unbelievable. No notification, no sound. Like, do you hear this? All right, you know what? At the end of the episode, no, right here, I'm going to edit it. Right here, I'm going to put a sound of, let's do the Rick Glassman snap. Right now, you're going to hear the sound of where I usually live. Here we go. Yeah, and this is the sound of the street I live in. Okay, did you see? Now listen to this. I went from that to this. just the birds, just the fucking birds. So it's absurd to me. Like, I mean, I know it's crazy that nature and where we should have been is so absurd to me, but it's absurd that, and I instantly feel like I don't give a fuck about this podcast or any of it, or my YouTube or my career or my legacy and nothing. It's just like the cloud went away. It's just like the narrative went away. It's like I washed away the COVID madness of the mental COVID madness by just being here and not doing anything, basically just being bored and not fucking paying attention to it. Just like go around, and sat there and just did like 40 minutes in meditations, a little bit of break again, 40 minutes and shit like that, top of a beautiful fucking hill overlooking everything. Like I can see all the hills, all the, as far as the eye can go, so you can truly see how the earth is flat. But I'm joking, by the way. I'm not a flat earther. But yeah. So it reset me, and but then I'm gonna put this message kind of to myself that let this be a reminder to all of us that, like the conclusion of this episode, I guess. People have mental health issues. Be a bit more considerate of them. I'm not saying you have to be there for them, but if you're a friend and you've already decided to be there for them, diminishing what they're telling you they're feeling and not validating it doesn't help. You're not a therapist. All you need to do is moral support when people are going through this thing. They know best how they can do it. Second thing is that it's over, man. It's over. And I know the lingering effects must be inside all of our brains, especially if you're still tied to social media and scrolling and what's the word, doom scrolling. Don't. Get out here, meditate for a day. No songs, no nothing, out there in the woods. See what happens. I swear to fucking God, it's a good reset. 3, everybody should start meditating every day, 10, 20 minutes. 20, the TM people say you gotta do 20 in the morning, 20 at night. I tried it, it's too much. So I'd go with the Sam Harris method, 10 to 20 per day. It's the least you do. And I can't, like, it's good for everybody. If you have a brain, it's good for you. A mind, rather. And it's over. I can't believe it's over. It's been a year of fucking being inside an apartment and everything being weird and all that. And everybody being weird and but I never felt like it's over like now, like this very moment. Like I've actually been to after I got vaccinated, I went to kind of like a party, so that was one moment where I felt like it's over. But I felt like still I'm in the noise. Like it was just some noise ever since 2019 till now. It was just noise. Now Trump, now blah, now my own country politics, now this country's politics, and then the COVID, now vaccine, maybe not vaccine, new strain, new one. Now wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Now the papers, now studying. I'm studying economy. So imagine all my curriculum. What is it like? Just fucking misery. Like you know, what about this crisis? What about the COVID crisis? How do we do that? Financial crisis. And my friends the same. Everybody, well, fuck you. Everybody's aggressive. Everybody's crazy. Everybody's suddenly come up with the reasons why they don't like each other. And it's over. In this moment, listen. Shh. Can you hear it being over? Yeah. And it is unbelievable as it is. We're done with this shit. I did an hour. I think I should wrap it up now. Thanks for listening. If you actually listened to the whole thing. I'm gonna do another one a bit more prepared about OCD and BPD and stuff. Maybe I don't, because this was supposed to be my rambling fun. Maybe I'll do a YouTube video about it. I don't know, but this was just like honest messages coming from the depth of my heart because I went through some crazy shit, man. Abso-fucking-lute loneliness for a year more, and all these mental health problems. But I'm so happy it happened. To be honest, I needed it. I'm not sure if COVID ever happened, would I ever have found this stuff out? Would I have gone on about my life of being a mediocre, anxious person forever and never know what the fuck's the problem with me? I'd be like Elon Musk. I'd be like, want to go to Mars? Got to go to Mars, and then he can sleep every, any night. Like that's what her ex-wife was saying. Who's she? Tallulah Riley, the hot girl from Westworld. She's so hot. She's so fucking hot. Like why Grimes? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, she kind of resembles Grimes in a little bit, but she's way better than Grimes. Like she's like. Grimes is Tallulah Riley made in Foxconn with $1 labor. No. So let me wrap this up. Yeah, it would be like him. He's just like anxious. Go to Mars. Go to Mars. Like you're at top of the world, or Trump, or whoever could have achieved a lot, but to what price? Fucking cares. And besides, I've also made my peace with about the legacy and achievement and success, and how much of it is just luck, how much of it is just being in the right place at the right time. Most good things that have happened in my life has been like that. I mean, of course, you have to have the competencies to prove it and make up, you know. But besides competency and skill, it's always being there. I feel like everybody has a purpose if they know where to be and what to do. Yeah, just I'm starting to detach myself from the idea that this podcast or that I need to work for anything. That I need to that like I can't even release something like this. Just an hour of just me talking. I would always go like edited. You've seen what I did. Listen, look at the first episode. The Avin Sur backstory one. Did you have to make up a backstory and then the spaceship comes and all the sound effects? Could you just do the jokes? I don't know. That was fun. I can do more of stuff like that, but sometimes it gets really frustrating, and I just decided to not to. Life has so many other aspects for me to be fixated on one, and so that's what's up with this podcast and with the channel. It's just there for me to, whenever I feel like creating on my own terms, I might upload them there. Maybe not what the OCD community says, but I'm done with certainty. I'm done with certain words like ambition, certainty, and legacy. I'm cutting them out of my life because I want to be in this state of mind always. This natural state of mind. Love you all. Thanks for listening. I wish you all really peace of mind. I know that must have been tough for a lot of us, mental health wise, and I just want to declare victory that it's over. For some of us, here's a fucking problem. A lot of the countries don't even have fucking access to proper vaccines and stuff. Anyways, thanks for listening, and peace.